what happened right now. All right, hold on. Boop. All right, there we go. I don't know what was going on. I think it's because we had the. Thank you. I think it's because we had the stuff in the background. Because we was working on one of the podcast episodes. Yes, we are catching up. So yeah, as you can see, that is our TikTok. Please follow us. So that way we have more impetus to post more things on there.
For sure. Folks say they like short form content. They're your short form content.
That's your short form.
We're also doing shorts on YouTube as well. So whether you like it on TikTok or you like it on YouTube,
Right.
definitely check us out.
Right.
Go ahead,
See what it's about.
subscribe, follow, do your things.
Right. Actually, let me see if I can
Hey,
bring that
twin,
up as well.
what's power?
YouTube channel. I mean, for those of y'all who are actually on YouTube, you don't really need this, but I'm gonna still show it to you. So, as you can see, this is us. This us. You know, we out here. What's good? Um, that's the one that's currently on. Go ahead, pop on that. These are a couple of the shorts that we have. We do have a couple YouTube shorts. We're gonna get some more, and these are some of the subjects that we've been talking about that are also gonna get covered on the audio pod. Um, One you will look out for because we are catching up is going to be the importance of patience. That's going to be the next one that pops up where I kind of soloed that one, but I got my team player here with me, so it should actually be better by extension as a result of that.
I didn't
So
even realize that was a solo.
yeah, that was a solo one. That was a solo joint. Let me see. Oh yeah. So there'll be a couple more to get covered. So we're gonna catch up. But anywho, since we didn't have sound, let's get back into the things that get on our nerves, like how sometimes we don't have sound. That is highly frustrating.
I don't know if it's a sometimes thing. I feel like when it happens,
It's annoying.
yeah.
It's highly annoying.
I mean, we pretty consistent.
Right.
Right now, it's kind of storming outside,
Yeah, you can
so
probably actually hear it now.
I believe the storm messed up the sound. Because I don't know if you noticed, but that went off, and that shouldn't have went off. Something happened, but yeah, it is storming currently where we're at in southern Indiana,
Right.
as being a product of the Midwest.
Yeah. It be mad ghetto out here sometimes. Like, I ain't gonna cap. It is. Uh what I was gonna say is, you know, this is allergy season in its final form. It's never been good to me. It keeps making me tired when I need to be doing work and, you know, being productive and trying to be a responsible adult. It's very hard to be a responsible adult when you're tired. Like, I mean, let me go ahead and put this young question in here while I'm tripping. Let me see. Question: what are some things?
While Nero's posting that question, I just want to remind everybody once again, we are on everything. Facebook, Instagram. Now we're on TikTok. And you can pretty much find us by our name, the Black in a Minute Podcast, on practically everything. Don't forget also that we do have our 30-minute or so audio only podcast. For those of y'all who want to listen on the way to, work, who don't have YouTube Premium, I'm sorry you people exist. So on and so forth. That way you can easily get your daily dose of Black in a Minute. We got plenty of content out there too. So I mean, indulge.
Please indulge.
Have at it.
Please.
Shoot.
All right. So here's the question, which I guess Kiara Rob 25 has started in already. But here's the question: what are some things that you feel the need to vent about? P.S. This is a safe space, but practice discretion.
Woo!
Because YouTube does not like that.
Twin, can I please, you know what?
Just drop.
You don't know.
Go on, say
You
it.
just tagged me in.
Go
You
on,
don't
say
even
it.
realize you just tagged me in.
Tag in.
She just tagged me in and she don't even realize. Okay.
Y'all just having issues.
Listen,
Issues.
twin. Let me hit you with some gospel. Okay.
Issues.
Yeah.
Issues.
I done already did that. I don't know what NeRo done told you, but I'm already moved on to a better job for that exact reason. Listen, it is so important that you know your worth, especially here in 2022. When everybody's hiring and trying to literally give money away for people to work, you have a lot more options than what you realize. And that's whether you degreed or not. Like, make no mistake about it. Like, I used to say this a lot. I remember I used to kind of try to have this conversation with my uncle, and what the conversation was is that, resilience, while it's admirable, it's commendable. At the end of the day, all it is resilience. You can have so much resilience that you build up 25, 30 years of a job that you hate that literally reeks on your soul. And all you're going to get out of that at the end of the day is a pat on the back for being resilient. You're not going to make that much more money.
Right.
Like, unless you're actually ascending up the corporate ladder, it's not enough to consistently just work somewhere where people are treating you like shit.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to be like, oh, well, that happens at every job. There's levels to it.
Right.
There's levels.
There's moments where, it's like, okay, some people are just going to be jerks to you. Like with my job, you're either going to get three types. You're going to get the people who look at you like you're the devil themselves.
Shameless plug.
Got the shirts and hoodies.
Links in the description.
Look, it's in the description. But you either gonna have the people that treat you like you're the devil himself. You're going to have the people who will pretend hard as possible to be as nice as possible to you in order for you to like them.
Woo!
Or you're going to get the ones who are just all the way real with you. It comes with the territory of what you do. So if you work in an industry or within a system that requires people to do one of those three things with you, you're going to have situations where at least one of those things is going to happen, and it's likely not going to be the thing you like. Kiara Rod 25 said, when a job doesn't value you and you tell them that you're worth more, but they don't offer anything more, balance, and that's what I'm about to do. Know your worth. I mean,
yeah, that's what I was hitting on. That's literally what I did, twin. I'm at a new job right now. It's paying more.
Praise the Lord.
It works better for it works better in terms of distance. It's closer to home.
It's better for your situation. Yeah.
It's better for my life situation. And honestly, it's going to benefit me more in the long run when it comes to advancement.
Look, we appreciate the growth.
And that's the thing.
Out here.
When people are going out of their way to deliberately try you up, you got a decision to make. And let me tell you something. And my twin is my twin for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So twin, if you agree with me on this, you can let me know. But check it. I'm the type of person where I know I come respectful to people.
Or at least
I know I'm, or at least try to, sure. Right. Or at least try my best to be not only just respectful, but to be honest and straightforward.
Right.
But when I feel, and maybe this is where there may be a gap in my immaturity, I'm willing to admit that. Probably ain't, but I'm willing to.
Right. Level.
I'm willing to level and say that. But I get to a point where if I feel I'm being tried up in such a way,
right,
I take a very deep, calm, but deep offense to that. And I don't have time for some of the inadequate human resources departments of today,
man,
to handle these situations.
Man.
Okay?
True that. Let's see. Good benefit your life and not good benefits your life and not other people unless they are the ones who support your upgrades. Yes.
Come on now. And it's
You
just like
preaching.
this.
I mean, that's true.
I'm also of the opinion that, you know, as long as I'm advancing forward in some way, whether that be financially, whether
Right.
that be, mental health,
Right.
so on and so forth, ideally multiple of these things, right? These
Right.
priorities in terms of values, then I'm okay.
Right.
And I'm cool with that. I also don't believe that people should be working till they 60 and 70. Pretty much you got to work until you're ready to die.
Basically.
I'm
And then,
not a fan of that neither.
yeah, and then you only got like 10, 20 solid years to
Yeah,
really enjoy
yeah.
it.
Like, I'm kind of not a fan of that neither.
That's why you got all these 70-year-olds driving around in Mustangs because they can finally afford them.
So I
It's kind of
mean,
trash to say, but seriously.
but it's just like, there's so many more things that we should be considering when
Right.
we talk about what we're willing to take, especially when it comes to job sake.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
what is your price?
Well,
How much money can you be paid
right,
to basically to effectively shut the fuck up
and sit
and
down,
sit down and do your job?
pretty much, and
And what are you willing to sacrifice alongside
doing that?
of your dignity that is being taken away from you?
Right. What extra price and whatever extra costs are there other than that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
because that's my thing. I can't do it.
yeah,
And maybe it's different maybe it's different whether you're white collar or blue collar, or
I think that does
maybe
sometimes change.
I think it can play into it for sure, right? Whether you're accredited or not, right? Whether you
Right.
have credential or degree or not,
Right.
that can.
But I
But
mean, what honestly, as somebody who has a degree, I don't think that should take a bearing on how somebody treats you at a specific job. I think that your ability to perform said job and the effectiveness and efficacy of that job that you do should have a bearing on that. That should be the only merit you really have. Because here's the thing: even when you got a degree, even when you're credentialed, guess where you're going to be in a room with a bunch of other people who also have degrees and who are also credentialed, and everybody does their job differently.
not only that
So
though,
I
but
mean,
what about like as far as you the individual?
right?
I mean, like, in terms of, like, do you think personally that you would take more just due to the fact that you're more so in a field or area of study working, that you actually went to get, you know, post education for?
Mm-hmm.
For you personally,
Yeah.
do you think that would factor more into your decision to be like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this bullshit, as opposed to if you weren't?
Um, it can, if not just for the fact that it's something you legitimately work for, and some of these things you can't have unless you've done that work and unless you have those credentials. So yes, you do feel more entitled to, hey, look, I grinded my butt off for this. I put in the work for this, so I'm not just gonna get treated any type of way. But like I said,
But what
I
about
feel
as far as
I
like
feel like
sticking it out? Does
yeah,
that
yeah.
play into that too?
Sometimes and sometimes not. It depends on what it is.
Ah,
And the reason I'll say that is because in some cases, what you learn, even with getting a degree, is that experience is king.
woo!
Experience is king, and
It is
knowing who you need to know is also king.
networking.
Because when you have those two things, when you have experience and you have like credentials along with it, that basically translates to you having options.
Yeah.
And if you got options, then you got power.
See, and that was one of the things that helped more easily propel me. When I left my last job, it was just that I'm not just some run of the mill.
You're not just some scrub down the block.
No, I'm not just some scrub. I've built my resume pretty decently over the past 13-ish years.
Right.
And so I'm just like, you know what? I know my options.
Right.
I know this ain't the end for me. I know this ain't going to be the last, good paying job that I like.
Right.
But I was just like, but this ain't working.
Right.
This ain't working. And I know I have options. Therefore, I'm going to exercise my options because this option ain't working for me.
Right.
I'm not about to spin my wheels or get twisted around by the politics of, upper management and
Right.
HR. And I don't have time for that because in the meantime, I'll still be dealing with the BS.
Right.
And I'll still be like, I'll still be like dreading. Like when you go every day to work and you're just like, I'm ready to
when
go.
you just sitting there borderline hurt just because
Like,
you
bro,
don't want to be there.
I literally used to go in and be like, man, I'm ready to go.
No.
Like as soon as I get in there,
That's when it's time to go.
I'm ready to go.
That's when it's time to go.
And I've had places where I've worked years.
Right.
And like what I've come to understand is there's a certain level to which my tolerance will allow for fuck shit. And I'm quite comfortable with where it's at.
Right.
Like when I get to the point that I'm about ready to
kind of just be off it.
Be sure we could call it off it. When my motivations decline, when my morals decline, when I'm easily and when I'm easily, what's the word? What am I searching for? Easily bothered, phased. Yeah, I'm just like, okay, yeah, no. I'm having an issue. I'm having an issue being professional.
You're easily provoked. There it is.
Yeah, and I'm having an issue being professional. And I'm like, okay, this is a problem.
Right.
Let me explore what could be the issues here. And what I came to a couple of conclusions, some of which I already knew.
Right.
But I wanted to, be resilient.
Well, because and you know what it is that especially us as people, especially as children especially as the children and grandchildren of boomers, and
Black
also
boomers.
Yes, especially and the children and grandchildren of Black boomers, we are taught that resiliency is key, and that's because resiliency leads to survival.
Yep. Shut your mouth. Don't say nothing.
Yep.
Do your job.
Right. Do your job because you know what's more important. What's more important is your family being fed.
And
who cares what they say?
It comes from a desperation and scarcity mindset that assumes that there are no other options. I'm like, yo, this is 2022. If we want to talk about privilege or anything, especially if we're going to bring it to the Black scope, you got so much power that somebody your age 50 years ago did not have.
Right. And
you can do so much more. Yes, you need to move in that power.
Because here's one interesting thing. At least in my area of study.
Flow page, Black in a minute.
Look,
link in the description.
Let me go ahead and bump that up. But look, at least in my area of, I guess you could say, expertise or study, there is, when you speak of scarcity, there is a scarcity of males. More specifically, Black males. So, in that regard, yes, we are needed. We are needed because there are not a lot of males in the mental health field. There rarely ever is. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, an interesting thing with that being said, you notice there are a lot more women who are in positions of power when it comes to things that go more into the mental realm.
Oh, bro, I mean, you know that, man. Look, there's a whole.
You're going to have a couple dudes that are in higher echelon positions, but that's about it. Now, that's the interesting part.
That's a whole nother nugget right there. Mm-hmm. But, the studies have found, there's data to suggest that, in general, women are more interested in social and people.
Yes.
And men are more so associated or interested in seclusion and things.
Yes. And that's the reason why, to be honest, when I first started working, pretty much all of my managers, like, I can honestly say that all my bosses now it's about neck and neck now because it's 2 and 2. But it used to be I always had more female bosses than male.
Me
now,
too.
In general of like supervisors, managers, all that, majority of my superiors have been female. They still are. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, there's a couple dudes sprinkling in here and there, but like, and what I mainly worked in, the 3 industries I mainly worked in was office work, retail, and now in mental health. So two out of those 3 are things that are primarily dominated by females. So I mean,
Man,
and
it's
that
funny.
look, and there ain't nothing to be grumpy about. Actually, the
Funny
thing
you
that
say
I'm
that.
kind of grumpy about with that is when you do have situations. Actually, I got one. I got a perfect one. Because I literally had this, and I'm sure you probably felt this, and I'm sure anybody in this list probably felt this. Whenever you are working and someone approaches you that has nothing to do with what you're doing, but they just happen to be around, right? And they start asking you questions about your job and what you do, right? And I had somebody ask me, it was a client of mine's brother, because I was waiting for the client, right? And he asking me questions. I guess he was involved in a case too, but he's involved with a different agency.
Okay.
He said, "Hey, so how long you been working with such and such?" I'm like, "Oh, a few months, you know." I really didn't want to say it because I'm like, I already know where this is about to go. And he's like, "Oh, I can tell." I'm like, "What you mean by that?" And so he started asking me all these questions like, "Do you have an appointment with him? Did you set up an appointment? Did you call ahead?" I'm like, "Does any of this have anything to do with you?"
Right.
Firstly,
Why
does
are you minding my
anything
business?
right? Why are you minding my business when you have to have somebody to mind yours? Woo! I'm sorry.
I ain't got the sound bar tonight, y'all. Sorry.
Look. Yeah, you the sound bar today. But like for real though, it's always people that it is always individuals, and I hate to say it like this because I'm not trying to be disparaging, but it's always individuals that don't have their stuff right who want to tell you how wrong your stuff is.
Boy!
They ain't even reached the finish line yet, and they trying to tell you how to run your race. Like,
let them know.
Chill. With all due respect, chill and let me do my job. You know what I'm saying? Let me do what I'm supposed to do before you start, being judgmental and whatnot. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, most of those same people would not want my job.
Ooh.
So most of those same people probably couldn't do my job effectively. You know what I'm saying? At times, it is a struggle for even a person who is well versed in this job to do it effectively because it requires a total separation of your mind and your emotions.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, what we do is not easy.
No.
What anybody does, but you know what? I would give that credit to anybody who is in any service industry where you are rendering a service to people. Anytime you are dealing with people, it is not easy. It is not easy. You know what I'm saying? Let me go back to what Kiara Rob 25 said. She said, "That's true. You can do your job and not complain, but you have the right to tell your higher ups what needs to change and what benefits are necessary for you to live off of and do your job proficiently." Yes, I agree with that.
Yep.
And I do also agree that if your job isn't interested in the slightest in you upgrading yourself, as Kiara Rob said, you probably don't need to be there long. That should be a stepping stone. Because one thing that I did appreciate about my boss is he asked me, he's like, "Okay, so when you getting your master's?" It's like, "When do you plan on getting it? And if so, when? When you gonna go back?" And I'm like, "Okay, so obviously," because there was no prompting for it. It's like, so obviously you want me to not be at the same place. You want up more mobility. Like a lot of
right. They want to,
right.
they want to actually see you excel. And,
right.
And it's rude and it's genuine.
Right. And a lot of it is because what those same bosses will understand and learn. Look, what a lot of those bosses will understand and learn is that it benefits them to have better credentialed and better skilled workers. And it always will.
Oh, yeah.
And DSOG, what's good, bro? I knew you was coming. Look, and I understand the work for yourself, but again, we have had this conversation. It is I don't know if you was here for this earlier part, so I will give you grace on that. When I said that there are two things that are prime when it comes to working, especially when you're credentialed, is credentials and experience. Well, credentials, clout, and experience. Those three things are king. So I don't have no problem getting the clout. That's how I got this job. You know what I'm saying? The credentials
Bars
is also how I got this job. Woo! The experience is when I'm building. So that way I can move wherever I want. You know what I mean? And that's the thing is I understand the concept of working for yourself, and I feel like that is something that has been hyped up so heavily in the last couple of years. But unfortunately, the only problem I have with that is that a lot of people are selling this like it's a dream, and they're not explaining the idiosyncrasies that come with that.
Oh,
entrepreneurship has so many layers that never get explained to the average layperson that's looking at this like, yeah, man, yeah, I want to be my own boss. I want to do that. I want to do that. I'm gonna get this PPP loan, man. I'm gonna go off.
Nah, bro, it's the hey, yo, you should taste this chess pie because chess pie is very good, man. You know how to make chess pie? No, how to make chess pie.
Then how the hell am I gonna eat it?
Right, like, can I get the recipe? It's like, you know how to cook chess pie?
Look, and you know what they're gonna tell you?
Ain't nobody ever taught me.
Look. You know what they're gonna tell you? You're gonna like, nah, dog, you gotta make it yourself. Okay, you have advertised this thing to me, dangled it in front of my face, and given me nothing.
It's the fish. It's the man and the fish, or the man and the bread.
Yeah, it's the man and the fish.
Yeah,
you can give a man a fish once and feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for life, and that is the truth.
That's it.
Is like, I have no problem with encouraging people to be self-sufficient in any capacity, because that is part of what I kind of do. But at the same time, if you're going to encourage people to be self-sufficient, educate them on how to obtain and maintain self-sufficiency. Because as Kwame Ture said, we have a whole lot of mobilizers. Everybody wants to be a mobilizer. Nobody wants to be an organizer.
Woo!
And the problem is, you can mobilize folks.
Boy!
Look, we ran, so I don't care. Look, you can mobilize folk to do anything, as we have clearly seen in the last year. You can mobilize people to do anything.
Yeah, folks are coming together.
Organize them.
Put them to task and see if they'll actually carry out something.
Yes.
Delegate.
Yes.
And see if the job will actually get done.
Put them in position to do the jobs that will best serve them and their community.
Look, you can learn a lot by that. My boy Fox. I don't know if he watching or not, but he said something the other day, which I already knew, but it was just enlightening to just hear from a different person.
Right.
And it's just like, everybody can't run stuff.
No.
Everybody can't be a manager.
No.
Whether everybody thinks so, they're not. Just because you could tell somebody to do something, don't mean you can be a manager.
Because there's a lot of people that can tell somebody how to do something and they can't be a parent.
A lot of people don't know how to delegate
or
even know delegation. A lot of people that word ain't even in their vocabulary.
No.
Like,
right.
DSOG Mental says, I know all that you know, that God stands for God's own destiny.
Oh, and I absolutely still do, sir. Oh, great. We got a weirdo. Hold on. Let me fix that real quick, because that's another annoying thing, is that we keep getting these little bots that want to pop up for some reason when we get to talking about something that's
help us get a larger base, so then we can get the bots going and the moderators so they can shut stuff down.
Because we're gonna set up some of y'all as moderators.
And some of these other people are gonna end up getting a pin of shame.
Yep.
But DSOG, I'm with you on that too, though. Overall, like, work for yourself. That's part of the reason why the Black in a Minute podcast exists.
Yes, Lord.
This is fun for us. We do this because this is fun, but it's also something that we want to be able to do for y'all and for us. And so that's where support comes in. Right. Shameless plug. You see this hoodie right here?
Yeah.
You can buy this hoodie. Link in the description.
Yes.
You can buy this hoodie.
Actually,
you can buy hats and shirts. He's posting it right there to where you can see it on there. That's
I'm
the
actually
link.
about to put it in the comment thing.
Yeah, put it in the comments so you know what they can click on that and go about their business. Hit them with that. Hit them with the support link too. Right, maybe you don't want to buy a T-shirt. Maybe you just want to give us a few dollars here or there. Go ahead, you can do that too.
Yeah,
you can do that too.
And I mean, that's absolutely ways that you support somebody who is actively trying to move in that direction of self-sufficiency and just building our own self-wealth. Because here's the thing. The more that we get, the better that we can improve this.
Yeah.
And the more efficient we can make it.
The more consistent the videos will be, the more consistent the video quality will be as well. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Shit, we trying to hit that 4K on y'all real quick.
Right, let's get it. Look,
Come on now.
I can't wait to be in 4K.
Man,
I'm gonna make sure all my
trying to hit the multi angles and stuff on y'all.
Look, I'm gonna make sure all my pimples is popped for that happen. So that way you ain't gotta see no.
Y'all ain't gotta see this this sweating HD.
Ooh, Jesus, no.
Y'all gonna see some nappy roots for real.
Right. You're gonna see every split end. That's just dang, now I think about it, that's kind of messed up. But
yeah, we definitely need you guys to support. We want to be able to, be self-employed and stuff. And I think, idealistically, I would love to see that for everybody, but that ain't everyone's role. And that's okay. For the people who truly want to put in the work, people who are actually putting in the work, I hope they make it to that place.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why Black in a Minute exists.
Absolutely. And I mean, here's the thing. Everything that we make, ooh, she said I got the block button on lock. Thank you. We appreciate you. Modern solutions to modern problems.
Hey.
But anywho, but for real,
boy,
like case in point of, God in my own destiny, and even just the good Lord blessing me to have opportunities for certain things, be they monetary or just clout related or whatever. I still get people. I've been having certain ones, and I'm going to try and get back to and get a lot of this stuff done, where people are not only asking for help with like beats, with like music, verses, stuff like that. I even had one of my homies shout me out to a friend of hers who was trying to work on music as someone who could help. And I'm like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for that at all. But it goes back to one of those old adages, and we love those. Never brag on yourself. Let other people do it for you because they do a better job of it.
Yes.
And I add on to that, my great granddaddy dropped that, God rest his soul. I want to add on to that with just my own personal life experiences, that people can see things in you that sometimes you can't see in yourself.
That's right.
And, one thing I do say does frustrate me is when people are quick to be disparaging towards others if they feel that they are deficient. And this might kind of tie into the other stuff we was talking about, but at the same time are not willing to offer any tools of the trade to help. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no reason for you to even be bringing that up. You know what I'm saying? No, she said not the 4K definition. Of course.
Yeah, you already know it. You already know it.
I want to look as realistic and crispy as Miles Morales on the PS5.
Man.
I'm never gonna have gonna have a lineup that crispy.
Man.
that was a computer.
Miles Morales,
that was a computer generated
5.
lineup.
Boy,
that doesn't happen in real life. But I might look cute.
Hey, I mean, dream big, right?
I might look cute until you squint. Just
dream big, dream big. Look.
Just enjoy it for now. That you have to squint in order to see the imperfections. All right. Hopefully I've even lost a little bit of weight before then. But anyway, man, dog. Look, man. One of the things that does annoy me is when people, two things that annoy me is a lack of consistency and then complaints that are directed at everyone except for the person responsible, which is usually them. And that is something that does annoy me. It is something that nauseates me, especially when it's something where you are trying to help somebody, you're trying to offer aid, and you're trying to do something to like do a service for somebody, and they don't consider it because they see it as an automatic benefit as opposed to an exception. Which brings me to a different point. Ladies, gentlemen, I'm going to bring it up to both of y'all because we're both complicit in it, especially in relationships. Look, if you have a significant other, a spouse, whatever have you, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever you want to call it, that will readily provide you with aid, assistance, amenities, whatever, be it financial, physical, whatever, that you need when you need it, but you are unable or unwilling to do the same for them whenever you're up, and then suddenly, well, I'm gonna just say it like this: don't suddenly start acting different when they're unable to provide those things for you, or when they decide not to provide those things for you. Because here's my thing: you had every bit of opportunity to render that, yes, cleant, to offer that service to a person that you should care about, and you did not. Do not think that it is an expectation for them to do that for you. Because here's the thing: when it comes to relationships, when it comes to anything like that, it is balanced. Okay, you're not there to use them as a lick. They're not there to use you as a lick.
You know,
You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be balanced. Like and look, and don't get me wrong. I understand people fall in bad times. Sometimes the man falls off, the woman's got to pick up the slack. The woman falls off, the man got to pick up the slack. You know, figure it out however you got to figure it out. But make certain that you do your due diligence to give back, because it's going in the same pot anyway if it's being done right. I will say that.
I wrote a lot of that stuff into just general reciprocity.
Yes.
And I hate how I feel like reciprocity has been, lost. Everybody's on the whole, cusp of, well, what am I getting out of it? There's a lot of
Yes.
tit for tat and a lot of scorekeeping. And I'm a firm believer that balance doesn't always have to be the same thing. And what I mean by that is, like, just because I give you an eye doesn't mean you need to give me an eye. But maybe I'm giving you an eye because you like eyes.
Right.
And so because of that, you may give me a neck because I like necks.
Right.
In that situation, we're not giving each other the same thing. The equality doesn't exist within the items. It exists within the importance and what it means to us.
Yes.
And so that should take precedence. And for me, that would be a form of balance.
Yeah. Because it doesn't have to be exactly the same thing. Like, don't get me wrong. If somebody is helping you monetarily and you don't have the monetary means to give back, there might be something else that you can help them with. There might be something else you can do. Sometimes even so much as a kind word and a little bit of consideration to get you far. Because look, in this job, you meet a lot of different people, and there are some couples that you kind of wish somebody was single because you see that there's no reciprocity. And it's not even so much that maybe they're not contributing money or whatever, but they're not even contributing emotionally. Where, say you make a mistake, you make an error, okay. I, as the other person, am going to tell you if it's going to help you, be like, hey, yo, you kind of goofed that up, but it's okay. We're going to get it right. Right? And that should be the way you say it. Look,
True.
Hey, I think you should reevaluate that. You don't attack. Instead, you don't be like, well, you didn't mess that up. You screwed this up. No. And that kind of goes into something that I don't like. Another thing that I don't like is just, I've never been the type of person who likes it when people waste time complaining about unnecessary things, especially when there are more efficient ways to deal with those things.
Okay. You know me. I like that because for me, what I think of when I hear that is just, people being more, constructive.
Yeah.
Solution building.
Yes.
Instead of destructive.
Yo, yeah, we can hear him too. The sirens is going off. Yeah.
We won't be too long.
No.
We won't be too long tonight. Because plus we don't want y'all to hear us complain about shit all night.
Right, for real.
I mean,
this was just something, for us to kind of
get a few little rocks off in March. Yeah. Because I was just thinking about a couple things that was bothering me. Right. So I was like, man, NeRo.
Blame him.
And yeah, because this one was my idea. I was like, you know what? It's March. Let's talk about some shit that I don't like.
DSOG said, when y'all have time to sit and break bread, I can help with the show. Real talk and collaborating.
Hey. Oh, DSOG, you already know. We'll have to figure something out, man. Like I said, these days,
work does take
the way our hats are set up,
it's rough.
NeRo's a caseworker when he's not on Black in a Minute.
Yee.
And I'm a sales manager when I am not on Black in a Minute.
So we both grinding.
We be busy.
Look,
we be busy.
Charge it to our heads and our
5
schedules.
5 days a week, at least 40 hours.
Yeah.
Sometimes more than that.
Yeah.
Sometimes different types of commitments and stuff. It'd be annoying.
Honestly, sometimes the only time I get free time is if somebody gets sick. Look, Javar, hey, that's the nicest thing you'd ever said to us in a minute, bruh. He said, y'all podcasting in the storm. We cold-blooded. Look, dog.
Man, look, listen.
We do what we must for the people.
Yeah, this is for y'all. Shout out to all of y'all who are in here right now. If you are not subscribed, you are doing yourself a disservice, as well as you're doing us a disservice too. By the way, 43% of y'all are not subscribed. Yes, I checked the stats. He does too.
Yeah,
I bury be into the numbers a lot.
Yeah.
43%.
Also, for those who weren't on there, weren't on earlier, we're on TikTok.
Yes, we are on TikTok.
We have a TikTok.
The Black in a Minute podcast.
We have a TikTok.
It's everywhere. Links in the description.
It's on the look. It's on.
NeRo got it up on the screen right now.
It's on the screen.
Look at it. Look at it.
Follow. Give us suggestions on what to put on it too.
For sure. All of y'all on TikTok, we know it.
Right.
So go ahead. Hit the button.
Look.
Please.
Look, we know y'all on there to either show off the TikTok leggings or to stare at the girls who wear them. Take a moment to get a little bit of knowledge and have some fun with us.
Yeah. Come on, join us. We talk about a little bit of everything.
Because we trying to get because we trying to get enough support to where we can go live on there too.
Yeah, and we're trying to get somewhat famous without having to be clout chasing and posting the most viral, ridiculous-ish. Please don't make us get desperate. Y'all see everybody else doing that. We don't want to be on the Shade Room. Look, we don't
want to be on the Shade Room.
But I don't mind speaking my mind either.
Look, I'm not doing the Fortnite dance.
No, I'm not doing no dancing challenges. I'm not jumping up and down crates. None of that shit.
No. I'm not.
None of that.
Look, I am not sacrificing my knees and ankles to the struggle gods to make y'all laugh.
My knees already been sacrificed.
Dog. I still got one good one.
They suspect.
This left one be trying to be ghetto every now and again, but the right one good. Righty's good.
Crazy legs.
Look, righty's good. Lefty acts up occasionally, so that's probably gonna suck tonight. But oh well, we persevere.
Hey,
it's the lovely cost of being almost 30. But dog, I thought I had another 10 years before this, man. This sucks. But
cost of aging out.
Right, screw that.
20 what? 20 what? Sorry, I don't speak your language. But nonetheless, y'all, once again, thank y'all for supporting us tonight. That link that's currently sitting there on the stream, that's for our merchandise. Yeah. Y'all, we're going to have some stuff coming soon because it's getting warmer.
Yep.
And we heard y'all from last year. Y'all
want warmer clothes. So.
Y'all want warmer clothes. Somebody said they want a water bottle.
Look. If y'all I'm talking to the ladies.
Might look into some bucket hats.
Attention. If y'all want leggings, we need money.
Yeah,
leggings is expensive.
If y'all just want some cheap ass leggings with our time clock on it,
they expensive.
But if you want some good leggings with our time clock on it,
they expensive.
So yeah, right.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
No lies detected. Boy,
they're expensive. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I would love to just toss them out.
Don't kill me for screaming boy in the mic. That's actually one of the soundboard sounds.
Yes.
I'm being the soundboard because I didn't bring the rest of the equipment.
I'm just being dramatic and just saying that I might turn that into a soundbite. They expensive.
Oh, bruh.
Oh, that's another one.
Hey.
Look. I can't technically, I am not at liberty to complain about this because this is technically a problem I no longer have, but I know everybody else does. Gas prices.
Hey, listen. I've been seeing people. Hey, for those of y'all who live in the southern Indiana, Kentuckyanda area, whatever the hell you want to call it, or if you live in Texas, but mainly if you live in Southern Indiana, if you have Centerpoint Energy, listen, I am sorry.
Oh God, no.
I'm not having the same energy bill complaints, but I'm telling you right now, if you have a house, look, just go ahead and get solar. Just go ahead.
Dog,
Thank me later.
You don't even want to know.
Thank me later. I'm trying to help y'all out.
Dog,
go solar
they have
and
a
go
whole
electric.
You know
if you're
they
having
have
an issue with gas and electricity from the energy company, they gonna kill me for this. Centerpoint, don't come to my house. Don't shut my shit off.
They might.
Go solar. Go electric vehicle. Thank me later.
Do I have anybody that still works? Anyway, right, I was gonna say, I will say though, man, there's a whole Facebook group that is dedicated to trashing on Centerpoint because they just tired. Folks is tired.
They tired of them tariffs, and you might as well call them tariffs.
Them is tariffs.
When you sanctions,
look, when you paying
$500 is sanctioned.
Look,
sanctioning people.
When you are paying $500 for something that was normally $3,
hey, we edited that out.
That's dog. That's a tariff.
Centerpoint gonna try to cancel us.
That's a luxury tax. Why are we paying a luxury tax for air? For hot air and heat. Fire and lightning. All right. Look,
for real though, as an energy company, I know you got to do what you got to do. Centerpoint.
I'm just saying, there's hot air and lightning outside right now.
Help us help y'all. I'm sure if y'all offer like a service where we could like, I don't know if people could do volunteer work for the community to help out, and y'all would like, I don't know, discount 10%, 15%. I'm pretty sure y'all have people outside picking up trash and stuff.
I would suggest the payment plans, but they already do that, and those just put people in a hole eventually. Like, I'm not knocking people who have to do payment plans. Look, get it how you live. But honestly,
apparently they still collecting money.
Them joints hurt.
Bruh, apparently they're still collecting back money from Texas.
I imagine.
That's supposed to be some of the reason why this is what it is.
I imagine.
Like,
look, everything
like
went up 20%.
That's literally what they said. They went out, they put that out there.
Well, then they had already collected from me because my taxes was trash this year.
Listen.
Y'all
better open them windows like it's y'all better go back to the 90s.
Look, dog.
Where half of everybody had their air conditioner working some of the time.
Look,
y'all better open up a window, let that fresh air in, especially right now.
Right.
Tis the season.
Right.
Tis the season to have your windows open. Unless you live in Chicago. But
yeah, for real. Maybe even
I'm from there, I can say that.
Right. You can actually say that because Chicago built different.
But
Chicago is built entirely different.
Yeah, man. Listen.
And I don't be understanding, like, bro.
We promised to not to. Hey, this ain't even the petty stream. Don't worry, y'all. The petty one coming. This is just March Madness. We just complaining. This ain't petty. This ain't petty. We can go. That's gonna be another episode.
You know what actually is the funniest thing about that is that I hope you still hear Javar, because Javar, this is the one time that we are actively being butthurt, and this is
petty
the nicest.
Madison.
Look, this is the nicest that Javar has been to us in the comments. I wish we had the sound bar so we could give this man a round of applause.
I mean, hold on.
I'm saying my words wrong because I'm just so shocked. Like I am shocked, baffled.
I don't even think do I man.
I ain't gonna say too much because I might jinx it. So he might turn around and decide to be a jerk. So I'm gonna leave it alone. Just know we appreciate you.
I don't even think I got the applause on deck? Bro, I don't even think I got the applause on
Don't even be extra because you know he gonna pop up and be like, "This is why y'all need to trash." I'm like, oh man. I said nice things about you. Like, come on, bro. But look, man. I honestly, bro, I really honestly wish that there's another gripe I have. I'll be looking into like old video games and old shows and stuff that I'll be wanting to watch and play. Not in that order, of course. And I'd be like, ooh, I could totally do that. I could download that. Like, I want to go back and play Ratchet and Clank again because I've been watching documentaries about it, like retrospectives. And I'm like, dog, I want to get back into that because I used to play the snot out of Going Commando. Like, me and my cousin beat everything in that game. We was running around. We had the Rhino. We running around murdering folk. Like, it didn't matter.
My Ratchet
It was
and Clank
fun.
days, I way past me. I was more Ratchet and Clank than Jack and Daxter. But I don't hate nobody that liked the other one.
Yeah.
Or if you like both, hey. But
Jack
I was
and
definitely,
Dexter
I was definitely Ratchet
took
and
a
Clank.
really weird turn, but
they should have did a death battle of those.
It was
too.
the 2000s, and I think Ratchet would win. But
we gotta.
I ain't gonna cap. I feel like Ratchet would murder Jack. Because that's kind of like Jack and Dexter. They tried to make it edgy, but it didn't work. But like I feel like if they fist fought, maybe Jack would win. But like all weapons and armor.
I was gonna say Ratchet got everything.
Ratchet, dude. After Going Commando,
that's not even including Clank.
Like the thing is, Ratchet after Going Commando has legitimate military training. So
like they not even
like he not just some
dude
crazy dude with a wrench now. Like he can for real kill you. Like.
Oh, before we end the pod, we gotta give Javar his applause.
Yeah. Round of applause. Yo, you know something messed up though? You know something messed up? You remember the voice of Captain Quark? The dude who used to do it? He actually had to retire in 2021 due to
Because his voice?
Partially that. It's actually he got hit with a double whammy, actually.
What happened to him?
He ended up developing Alzheimer's.
Ooh.
And he was yet another victim of COVID where he got it so bad that he couldn't. That's what forced him to retire. And then the Alzheimer's apparently came later.
Sorry.
So I forgot what his name was. I just had it. His voice was done by Jim Ward, who actually is a fairly famous dude. He did a few different voices. He did Doug Dimmadome. He did
man.
Yeah, he's cold. Actually,
no, not Doug Dimmadome. Owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Yes, bro. Yeah, bro. He got
no.
Yeah.
Hold up.
He got Alzheimer's, man. And he had COVID. Like that. Yeah, he got COVID in 2021, and that's what really knocked him off. But it was so bad.
No.
Like he can remember according to his wife, he can remember stuff from, like long-term memory, but the short-term memory shot. And it's so sad, bro. Like, I think he's like in his 60s or 70s, maybe. Like, that's harsh, man. Oh yeah, and he played a couple different roles, like, but man, that hurts, man. Cause it's sad when you see people that get stuck like that. Like, it's very sad, especially voice actors, because you come to appreciate them in certain ways. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they're attached to characters who are attached to moments.
Right. And that just hurts, man. It's like, dang, man, you had to get done like that. Like, but that's just another reminder for folks to be safe, dog. Just be safe out here, because COVID getting everybody, and if COVID ain't getting you, the flu is.
Speaking of that, I'm gonna name my last. I'm glad you said that. You just reminded me.
Woo, Jesus.
My last little point. I'm gonna keep it short.
Ooh, it's about to get real.
The one thing that made me mad is this damn COVID shit. Simply because
it is ruined everything.
Now we're watching mandates go away, slowly but surely again. And I'm here to tell y'all, I don't know if this is the very last time yet, as I look into the camera and say that. What I will say, though,
I want to put something in the caption, but I'm not going to do it because we might get
is, I got to choose my words carefully. Slouchy originally made it a point during the beginning of this slamdemic that keeping yourself in optimum physical health. These are not his exact words. I'm paraphrasing, but this is exactly what he said in terms of context.
Right.
Look it up. Same fake news.
It's fake
That
news.
people
It's fake news.
ascribe to eating a healthy diet and regular exercising
Mhm.
in an effort to help alleviate and or fight COVID-19 symptoms.
Yeah, she said the panoramic. I knew somebody was gonna say it. It's a Panasonic. You already understand what we talking about.
I say all of this to say
That's why I stick with Sony.
that, and this is no disrespect to the vaccinated,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want y'all to be mad
No.
once this time finally passes and y'all look around at all the people who never got the vaccine and never got COVID and or didn't die from COVID
Right.
and didn't have to go through half the bullshit that y'all did.
Whatever you do, look, whatever you do, whether you do or not, because there's some jobs that are mandating it. So some of y'all are in this boat,
In that
not
boat, yeah.
by your choice. I understand.
And I'm not talking to y'all.
Right. But here's the thing. And in some ways, you know what? In some ways, in a sick way, I kind of take an opposite perspective. I'm kind of happy it happened. You know why? Because all it did was just show our general fragility as a nation. It showed our actual fragility. Like, seriously.
Bro, it was full-blown tribalism.
Bro.
Vaccinated versus unvaccinated.
Well, and I mean, even before that, like the whole concept of COVID and folks having to be stuck in their houses around people that apparently they don't like that much, but they choose to willingly live with.
That
shows so much into just how down bad we are as a nation.
That and the fact that depending on where you lived in the United States,
Yeah.
your whole complete COVID reality was different.
Yeah.
Like I'll say that to say here,
each place was
where
built
we were
different.
at, Southern Indiana,
yeah,
comparative to like some of the other places where there were real lockdowns,
like New York was real,
like New York, like Cali, like Chicago for a point in time, where like they really was not playing about that shit.
Like they would stop.
Like we got it good
at the gate
where we were at.
I forgot what state it was, but they would stop you at the front gate and say you can't be here. Like if you ain't from here, you ain't been here in the last couple whatever, and you have to show documentation of whether or not you do. And if your license don't line up and you ain't been here in a minute, you gotta go back. Because no. That means that there was probably folk who drove about 18 hours, maybe visit some family in New York because they thought they was gonna be that everything was sweet and probably had to drive 18 hours right back because they was like, you going back. But I drove here for 18 hours. That's great. You can drive 18 hours right back.
But yeah, honestly, that's the last thing, at least for now. I got a whole bag, but I'm gonna say some of that other stuff for the petty podcast.
But man,
we gonna dip in the petty bag here soon because I got some petty things I want to talk about too at some point.
Honestly,
I might wait till the summertime because motherfuckers like being petty in the summertime.
Bro, they didn't start it early.
'Tis the season.
They didn't start it early. There's some people that didn't start it early.
I might wait.
God. Look, here's another one. I have to say this. I would much rather deal with somebody who's going to be themselves than going to be real about who they are, flaws and all. And some of this comes from my line of work. And I mean, you understand it too because you deal with people. I'd rather you be real with me and straight up with me about a lot of things, even if it's going to either potentially hurt my feelings or make me think differently about you, than because there are people I deal with who have legitimate mental disorders and legitimate concerns that they have to deal with, you know what I'm saying? Then to sit there and either lie to me or try to act as nice and as perfect as possible at all times. Because guess what you're not doing? You're not allowing yourself to get the help that you might need. You're not going to make it help. You're not going to do anything for yourself. 2, I mean, you lying, which it's hard to keep up a lie for 6 months. But 3, dog, that's a waste of energy. We can see through that shit anyway. Like that's the problem. That's the problem. Folk don't really realize that it's not that hard to see through deception if you're trained to look for it. Or if you expect to look for it. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes because I love my job, don't get me wrong, but sometimes after a whole entire day of talking to people who I have to constantly question whether or not they are telling me the truth. I know it's not the full truth. Most of the time it isn't. You're just not going to have that in those type of stressful situations. Anybody would lie in that situation, at least a little bit, or embellish the truth. But when I have to be constantly on guard and be wondering how much of what you're telling me is legit and how much of what you're telling me isn't, and try to suss out the details in between, and this is every day that I go into work, it gets taxing because you suddenly start really feeling the need to, you start word vomiting to the people that you can actually talk to because you realize I don't have to do all this extra thinking now. I don't have to do all this extra stuff. I can just talk to you, you know? I mean, yeah, people say you got coworkers for that, but it's shoot. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But it gets exasperating. I won't lie. And the only reason it's not truly exasperating or truly aggravating is because of the fact that it is something that I expect. It's something I respect, that I expect because of the nature of what things are. Like, folk will do anything. Look, there are people who are willing to do anything to get what it is that they want. And if it involves something that is near and dear to them, like their families and children, yes, they will lie, cheat, steal, deceive, do dirt, all of that. All of that. And they will teach their kids to do the same. The world is not black and white, but that is something that is very cut and dry. But anyway, enough of the depression. Let's talk about positive things, like the fact that I think the storm stopped. Hopefully. But anywho, this has been the Black in a Minute podcast, brought to you by the illustrious Tryman Arts. We are telling you to have, well, as wonderful a night as you can with all this rain.
Facts, especially if you're in the Midwest, wherever you at, and however the weather is.
Try not to get dunked on and wear your water rings. It's hard to say that. Wear your water wings. There we go.
I think you had it.
No, it sounded like I said rings. But anywho.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, self-critical. But
I got you that time, I see.
Yeah.
Wings,
but
water wings.
You're gonna have some water wings trying to get some chicken wings. I mean, it's rough out here. But as we've said before, I go by NeRo AnGeLo.
And I go by the DarksKing poet. That's dark skin with a G on the end.
Yes, sir. And we're going to wish you a wonderful night, evening, day, week, whatever and whenever you're listening.
Facts.
Peace out.
Power.
Yeet.